What's good, everyone? Jets takeoff. The draft, it's so close. It's 3 days away. And I just want to talk about the wide receiver position because I feel like there should be a little bit more talk on how the Jets will go about wide receiver in this upcoming draft. Because personally, I have a few thoughts and ideas of how we will go wide receiver. And I just want to say that I think we do need to draft one. But I feel like there's a specific mold and archetype of player that we kind of need to get on the team via the draft. So when you look at our roster right now, we got Denzel Mims, we got Corey Davis, and we got Jamison Crowder. I think they're a solid wide receiving core. If anything, Mims is the weakest of them all, but he could eventually take that big step forward. But there's one noticeable thing that we lack on the team as of right now, and that's a deep threat wide receiver. We don't have a guy who can go stretch the field and just blaze it past safeties where we can just take vertical shots down the field. Corey Davis, I guess he could kind of do that, but he's not going to be running by anyone really. If anything, he's more of a contested 50-50, back shoulder type of guy, run after the catch. But anyways, the point is, we got to get some speed on this team. There's not really anyone that is really good at that. I know we have the Smiths, but I don't really think they're going to eventually become anything big at wide receiver and be in our future plans for the long term. I feel like in this draft, we have to address it, but I don't think it should be until the later rounds. I will talk about the next wide receiver position soon, but I feel like for the deep threat, we can kind of take a flyer anywhere from the 4th to the 7th round. I don't want to see any wide receivers that are solely strictly a deep threat like Anthony Schwartz until those rounds, because I feel like we have a lot of other needs. But there is one exception, because we do need another type of wide receiver on this team, and that's a slot wide receiver. And we already have Jamison Crowder, but this is the last year on his deal. After this year, he's gone. We're not going to re-sign him because it's simply going to cost too much money. He's had injury concerns in the past. It's not really worth giving him all the money when our Super Bowl window, if anything, will be in the next few years. So we might as well just draft a guy who's on a cheaper, affordable contract and who could eventually become better and healthier. So I think there are a few guys that we could look to target. I'll put the names on the screen right about now, but off the top of my head, a lot of people are probably going to be like Kadarius Toney. And I would love Kadarius Toney, but not at pick number 23. I'll say this though, if Kadarius Toney drops to pick number 34, I would be very tempted if I'm Joe Douglas to go draft him there, because he is probably one of the better molds for a slot receiver that aren't like the top 3 or 4 wide receivers that will be taken in the draft. He can run some really dirty, crisp routes. He is a little bit raw though, still catching the football. I think he tends to kind of think about after the catch more than just catching it. If you played wide receiver, you know what I'm talking about. But he also had a solid amount of broken tackles in college. And I feel like it could translate very well to this kind of West Coast system where the quarterback is getting the ball in the hands of the wide receivers, and then they are the ones kind of fighting for the extra yardage. It's just the quarterback's job to get the ball to the receiver, and then the receiver does the rest of the work. So I think Kadarius Toney could be an absolute home run pick at number 34 overall, and I think it would be honestly great because the thing is he doesn't have to start day one, because he definitely has some problems with his game a little bit, but I feel like he would be a nice developmental, or not really developmental, but I feel like it could do him favors by kind of not getting that many reps year one, but then once Crowder leaves after this season, then he kind of slots into Crowder's spot of the full-time slot wide receiver. I think it would be absolutely a great pick, and I feel like if anything, or if any wide receiver were to be taken pretty early on by us, it would be Kadarius Toney at pick number 34. Or another slot guy, if he's really confident, like a Tutu Atwell, he could be a pretty nice gadget type of guy, because I know in San Francisco they do a lot of motions and all that stuff, so I think he'd fit pretty well there too. But the point is, we just got to upgrade the wide receiver position for the slot, and we need a deep threat wide receiver who is just going to run those streaks and verticals. So that's how I think the Jets should and will address the draft, but who knows? Joe Douglas, we're never going to know with him. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this, and specifically the wide receivers. I'd love to know if you agree or disagree with any of my thoughts. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.